Within a joint's range of motion, we are typically very strong at the middle of the movement, but actually quite weak and suspect to injuries at the beginning and end of the range of motion. That's where PAILs and rails comes into play. PAILs, or progressive angular isometric loading, we are working the progressive tissue of a passive stretch. So for example, if I'm trying to do a PAILs rails with my shoulder, this tissue right in through here is going to be my progressive tissue, and the PAILs contraction is going to be driving down, working this tissue. On the other end, a rails contraction is we're going to get into that passive stretch again. We're going to do the PAILs contraction first, driving down into this progressive tissue, and then the rails contraction, we're going to be doing the regressive side, so the back side, the smaller range of motion of the tissue. So we're going to be driving back into that range. Before we do a PAILs rails, we're always going to hold the stretch for about a 2-minute contraction. That's going to allow us to bypass the stretch reflex and for our nervous system to accept this new passive range of motions that we have. And the PAILs rails is going to help us work end ranges, work that progressive tissue, work that regressive tissue, bridge the gap between active and passive range of motion, therefore decreasing any sort of injury risk that we may be having.